7:50 Eastern Time, 6:50 Central. It's time now for our tropical update. I want you to strap in for this one because we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with Chris, which continues to impress across the northern Atlantic here. A 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving on to the northeast. And yeah, my eyes went to potentially this eye right in through here. Is this an eye trying to form? And Chris, it certainly could be. Some of the microwave imagery suggests that, but I'd like to see another pass before I say yes. It's over those marginal water temperatures, but it's not getting sheared at the moment, and it is forecast to continue off to the northeast and again not remain any threat whatsoever to land. So there's another perspective of that, and I can't tell if that's an eye or a sucker hole that's developed, if you will, around the convection. I think it's to the northwest of it, but again, I can't be sure. Either way, it's not going to bother anybody, and that's the good news. So our focus comes down and through here where we have a trough of low pressure that's sitting across the Yucatan here with maybe a little hint that we've got some DNA from Carlotta. If you remember Carlotta that came up across Mexico, kind of wandered around, then has kind of drifted off to the north. But this is an absolute area of concern over the next several days to watch, not only for rainfall but Florida, but for possible tropical development. First, let's break this up. The rainfall in Florida on the east side of the trough. We've got these bands of showers and storms. So far, they have stayed away from South Florida, and that is a good thing. Cuba's getting wild up pretty good there with some pretty heavy showers and storms. We'll watch for trends overnight, and here's the model going through the evening hours. Definitely by the time we get into tomorrow night this time, looks like a lot more rain. Then it begins to wind down a little bit as the focus shifts toward the west as we get in towards Saturday. So where is this focus going to be? It's going to be right in through here. You can almost tell there's a little counterclockwise rotation already starting to go on there. So a little twist on that trough, and that's what the models seem to be keying in on here for development. So here's the GFS, the American model, coming up and developing something Sunday night, Monday. The new run, the 18Z run, or the 2 o'clock run, is slower, if you will, than the earlier run of this morning. So that earlier run had it already by Monday at 10 o'clock, very, very close to the Florida coastline. This one has slowed it down, and that goes along with what the European model is doing as well. Now, if this all comes to fruition, there is the potential for some phenomenal rainfall. And what worries me the most is if we get a situation where the rain is occurring ahead of the storm itself and the fetch around the area of low pressure is from the southwest, you're going to pile all that water into the bays, especially Tampa Bay to be specific, and then when that fresh water falls on Florida, where's it going to go? It can't go out. It's forced to stay inland. And that's a huge concern should this scenario unfold. Again, should this scenario. So here's the 18Z GFS, farther west than it was at 12Z. But here's what I'm talking about. This pre-game show of the heavy rain that's going to go on in Florida could be a key player regardless of the strength of this, which could be anywhere from a depression to obviously at worst case scenario a hurricane here. So here's the European by Wednesday, still offshore with this storm. We'll let these models obviously get a couple more runs into their system here, but I certainly think as we get into early next week, guys, there is a pretty decent argument here to talk about issues for Florida, whether it be flooding or potentially a landfalling tropical system. And that's what we're watching right now.
So we have the pregame and possibly a main event.
The main event. And again, you couldn't orient that bay in a more serious situation with a southwest fetch because it holds the water in that bay.
Right, and we know we need the rain. We just don't need this much rain.
No, we don't need this.
It could be devastating.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll be watching it, and thank you so much for staying with us on Weather Center Live. More updates to come throughout the night. Of course, we'll be on at